This is the book of 2nd Esdras 16 and 16. The disasters are on their way toward the earth, and like an arrow shot by a strong archer, they cannot be turned back. I'm doomed. I'm doomed. Who will rescue me in those days? Troubles will come, and many people will groan. Famine will come, and many will die. Wars will come, and the world powers will tremble. Disasters will come, and everyone will be terrified. What will people do when these disasters come? Famine, epidemics, troubles, and suffering are sent to punish and correct people.
What is it? This scheme of yours has failed, Lord Sidious. The blockade is finished. We dare not go against the Jedi.
Viceroy, I don't want this stunted slime in my sight again. This turn of events is unfortunate. We must accelerate our plans. Begin landing our troops.
My lord, is that legal?
I will make it legal.
And the Jedi?
The Chancellor should never have brought them into this. Kill them immediately.
Yes, my lord. As you wish. Captain, look! Sorry.
And with that, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWAH being the name of the Heavenly Father in whom the world is ignorantly called Yahweh or Jehovah. And in the name of his only begotten Son, YAHAWASHI, whom the world is ignorantly called Jesus Christ, in whom we do worship, we are the Hebrew Israelites, which consist of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, and Seminole Indians, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greetings, giving double honors unto my apostles and elders at Great Millstone that are ruling well and continue to do so. And to you brothers out there, fellow soldiers, yoke fellows, brothers of the sword, shalom unto you. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect and to the house of David. To the few sisters that do listen, shalom. And to those that are addicted unto this ministry, I say shalom. Lord's willing, this is an edifying lesson. Lord's willing, I call this lesson. I got it from Revelation 18. And I'll call it, The Merchants of the Earth Shall Weep. The merchants of the earth shall weep. Now, I have another clip, but before I get that, let me read this here. Let's go to 41. It says, merchants must not expect to make profit from what they sell. They must be ready to run for their lives. Their customers must expect to lose whatever they buy. Whoever builds a house should not plan to live in it. Farmers should not expect to harvest their crops or pick their grapes. Those who marry must not expect to have children, and those who don't marry must live as if they had been widowed. But the point is here, merchants must not expect to make a profit from what they sell. They must be ready to run for their lives. Why? Because wars will begin. Just like in the clip, the blockade is finished. We dare not go against the Jedi. And then he said, hey, get this dude out of my sight. This is an unfortunate turn of events. We must accelerate our plans, begin landing your troops. And that's what we see at the port of Long Beach. All right, many a ships is out there, far as the eye can see. But beyond it, what is beyond it? Military vessels, battleships, subs, cruisers, all right, out there, the Chinese Navy. And beyond that, the Russians. And beyond that, more and more encroaching dangers awaits this place, Babylon the Great, aka America. And let me get that clip. I just wanted to show that because he said, my lord, is that legal? And he said, I will make it legal. Woo, man. So it's being made legal. All right. So it doesn't even matter, man. It doesn't matter. Okay. Now, let me get that clip for you, brothers. The brother posted it in our group me. Okay. And Lord's willing, I'm about to go in. Call all y'all BAHASHAM. The end of Babylon is going to be very troublesome. This place is going to end in nuclear fire. All right, because this man is making it legal. These things are being done behind closed doors, but this man is allowing it. He's allowing it. Now, let me go here. This is what the brothers posted.
T-Mobile is upgrading homes.
All right, bear with this commercial. Bear with me, brothers. All right, brothers, I'm back. You know, here's a clip. Gonna play it. But before I do, let me read this here. All right. Because ultimately, all those that trade by sea is going to bewail Babylon, not because of the death and the innocence that has been destroyed, but because they cannot make any more money from this place, because it is a consumer-based nation. And Long Beach is one of the best ports in the world, because the ships that dock, they can unload damn near 70 to 80, almost 100% of their cargo. In other places like the Panama Canal and even the port over there in the Gulf, you know, they can't unload as much as the port in Long Beach can unload. Pretty much all the ships that go in there damn near unload all their cargo. All right. And it is unlike any other port in the world. And this man right here, he's going to explain it. But hey, man, it being crippled as it is, call all YAHAWASHI, the Lord is sending plagues on this place as he did in ancient Egypt. What did the Lord do? He struck the Nile, which was the place in the epicenter of trade. You know, the merchants was going up and down the Nile to trade. All right, which made Egypt a great nation. All right, you see? And then everybody had to come up during the time of Joseph to buy grain in Egypt, because Joseph foreseen the dream, interpreted it for the Pharaoh, and said, all right, in these years of plenty, take a provision and put it to the side so that we may have food for the years of famine. See? And a lot of those ships, they're coming into port, but they're not unloading to a point that they want. Everything is slowed down. People are buying things, but they shouldn't expect to make a profit or get what they bought. Yeah, these orders are still going out, but these things are coming in slower and slower. And then there's less hands on deck. So, and then we're in the midst of a pandemic. Then we're in the midst of encroaching war. Then we're in the midst of turmoil. Then we're in the midst of political turmoil. Then we're in the midst of chaos. Then we're in the midst of stress. Then we're in the midst of all these other things that coincide. We're in the midst of a government shutdown. We're in the midst of everything that's going on. This is a worldwide crisis. It begins here in Babylon the Great, but it is worldwide. This is Revelation 18:8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord YAHAWASHI power who judgeth her. Because in that day, when the Lord YAHAWASHI is revealed, there's going to be chariots in the skies. What the world is only called UFOs, a fleet of them. But the Lord is going to be mounted on the largest chariot. He's going to spread his wings over Basra, which Basra is another name for Babylon the Great, which Basra was the ancient capital city of Edom. Now, this is the crown jewel of the nation of Edom, where they made all their money. This is the home of the free, land of the free, home of the brave, or whatever the hell. Okay, but this place is going to be destroyed in one day. The plague that's going to hit this place is the noise and pestilence, the nuclear missiles. Death is going to be in this land. A brimstone is going to be scattered upon the habitation, and mourning, because they're going to know that death is coming for them. It's going to be a cry at midnight. It's going to be the people are going to perish in an instant at midnight, which is a nuclear holocaust. And famine. People are going to be suffering from the famine. Why? Because those ships is out in the port and nothing is coming in. Famine doesn't just mean no food. It means scarcity thereof of goods and services, so to speak. That's what a famine is. And she shall be utterly burned with fire, nuclear fire, and laser fire from the ships. For strong is the Lord YAHAWASHI power who judgeth her. Who's the her? Babylon the Great, aka America. And the kings of the earth, who have committed fornication and lived deliciously by trading with this place, the almighty dollar. All right, the world-backed currency is going to be no more once this place is destroyed. All their hopes and all their dreams and all their trade agreements will be stopped. My Lord, is that legal? I will make it legal, because it's going to lead to war. Trade wars lead to real wars. And then when trade routes are cut off, that's a military tactic. It's known as besiegement, or the circumvallation, which the Romans would do. They would stop things from coming in and stop anybody from getting out. And that's what the Chinese Navy and these other military powers are doing to Babylon. Babylon is surrounded, is cut off, is in political turmoil. It's going to go to war within his own self, civil war. But beyond it, outside, the nations that hate this place are gearing up to go against it. Go up to the land of one-walled villages. Those that dwell carelessly, And this place is going to be ransacked and taken over. It's going to be invaded. It says, stand afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come, the nuclear holocaust. In 1 hour, it's going to take just 1 hour for these missiles from these nuclear power nations to reach this place. Now, these are the beginning stages of what's going to lead to the civil war, sedition amongst men, World War III, the third woe, and ultimately the desolation of this place, Salakia. The desolation of this place. Let me just take this call. I'm going to be right back with you, brothers. Shalawam. All right, I'm back, Akim. I take that call, Salakia. Now back to what is real. And it says the government has a plan to clear the ports. We are doomed. What's going on with shipping? That's what is going on. Look at the ports. That's one of the greatest ports in the world, and this man is going to explain it. But let me get through these scriptures. It says, and the merchants, let me read verse 10 again. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, which is unfortunate, unfortunate, that great city Babylon, that mighty city. For in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. And you truly ain't going to be able to buy it. Right now, it's just slowed. It's not like it's stopped. They're still ordering things. Ships are still coming from these different lands, coming into port. But they're out there in the seas, just in a whole just line, just waiting to come into port, hoping to come in. They've already been out there for days on end. But once Babylon is destroyed, aka America, then they're going to really wail like, damn, we really can't make any profit now. The whole land has become desolate. Whew, man. It says the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen, purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass and iron and marble. That's what comes from these different lands. All these things, right? And cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses, which the horses now could be like your cars. You got the Toyotas, you got the German manufactured cars, you got the, you got the Jaguar, which is, I believe, is a European car. You got the Ferrari, all these different cars that come from these different places. Then actual horses coming from half the world away to run in these horse races. Like you got in Pasadena, the racetrack, where the horses run. So they're bringing these different animals and these beasts from half the world away to be in these zoos and to be in these shows and to be in the damn Las Vegas show and all that crap. So all these things are coming into Babylon. It says in chariots, which is cars, and slaves, because who was shipped over here as slaves, as commodities, as property? The Southern Kingdom, preferably so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians. But not only they, but the native tribes in this land, the Northern Kingdom. All right, Gad being the so-called North American Indian, Reuben, the Seminole Indians, Issachar, the so-called Mexicans, and the other tribes, Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans, on down to the rest of the tribes, Asher being the Brazilians. They were sold as well as slaves. Because when you come up here and become an employee and become a damn citizen of Babylon, you become a slave. And then it says, and souls of men. Why is that? Because people sell their souls for the almighty dollar. Nick Cannon and all these other clowns sold their soul for this place. And for what? Only that is going to be destroyed. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. Everything that you can lust after in a wicked form is found in this place. And it's all going to be destroyed when the Lord ends this place. It says, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. And all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee. And thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, alas, alas, unfortunate, unfortunate, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, which is a very prominent and rich nation, rich in land, rich in resources, rich in ideas, rich in people, rich in business, rich in merchandise, rich in all all aspects of the word. All nations want to come to this place, or once wanted to come here to be made rich, to send the money back to their families in different lands. They thought this place was paved with gold, but it was all a lie, because this land was once beautiful when the northern tribes had it, but this devil has turned it into something that is despicable. But this place is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. See? It says, for in 1 hour so great riches has come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning. Now this is the end game of Babylon the Great. They're crying out right now. They're not making the profit that they thought they were going to make in Babylon, because the influx is slowed, because it's just, hey man, political turmoil, and this place is just crumbling. The dollar's failing day by day, is getting weaker and weaker. The gas prices are soaring. The food is becoming scarce. Full storehouses are suddenly be found empty. It's going to lead to sedition amongst men. It says, but this is the end game, and I'm reading it now. It's like, hey, the Lord declared the ending from the beginning, so I'm declaring the ending at the beginning of this lesson, and then we're going to go into what's going to transpire to make it even get to this point. It says, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads. This is an ancient world form of mourning and wailing and weeping, and just you don't know what else to do. That's what these merchants are going to do. They're not going to know what else to do. Like, oh my God. Just like when the Trade Center went down, people was like, what the wailing through. Was shaken, was shocked. But imagine a whole land being on fire and smoke and nothing left but desolation. How much more are they going to put dust on their heads and cry out? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, unfortunate that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. Man, sis, I'm going to play this clip.
On this episode of What's Going On with Shipping, we have record ships at anchor off U.S. ports, massive backlogs in terminals. But have no worry, the government's here to help. Hi, I'm your host, Sal Mercogliano, chair of the Department of History, Criminal Justice, and Political Science at Campbell University, former merchant mariner, and an adjunct instructor of maritime industry policy at the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. Okay, I didn't think I was going to do a video this week because, not to lie, I've been out there a little bit too much this week. I did an interview yesterday with the guys at Freightwaves TV. It was great to do that. I had not done that before, so that was a real treat to do that. I have just done a video on the NTSB report on the Golden Ray, followed it up with an article on G-Captain, and I'm sure that my face is up all over dartboards at the NTSB today. So why not continue that run? Let's talk about the government here and their actions. So a report came out, and I read it on Twitter from a very reputable source, and I've heard it from multiple sources, is that the government is preparing to basically intervene into the issue here, particularly the anchorage and the number of ships off the port of LA and Long Beach. Now, as we all know, this has been growing immensely. This is marine traffic showing you that anchorage off the port of LA and Long Beach. And if you zoom out here a little bit more, you'll see ships just milling about here, just sailing around because they don't want to come into the anchorage. And if you go out even further, you just see ships coming in here, one after another, just coming in the long line. And if you go out and look at the long line across the Pacific, you start to see those vessels coming in here. And the rumor that's going around, and again, I take that source as valid, is that the Biden administration wants to come in and do a couple of things. They want to start 24/7 operations at the port of LA and Long Beach. They want to eliminate pier pass fees to get more trucks and rail in to the ports. And then they want to fine truckers. This is, by the way, Truck Appreciation Week. Thank you, truckers. We appreciate everything you do But the U.S. government now wants to fine you if you miss your gate appointment because you're not there on time. So this has not been confirmed, but we're hearing about it coming in. But I want to touch on this for a couple of reasons. Number one, let's step back here for a minute and look what is going on. So if you do not follow John McCowan on LinkedIn, you should. He does reports all the time. John just came out with a great book on the leading innovators in the maritime industry over history. I'm going to do a review of it for the National Maritime Historical Society. See History. Can't wait to do it. I'm going to try to get him on my channel here, do a talk with him. I think it'd be a lot of fun to talk with John. But, I mean, he's talking about the fact that the breathtaking second quarter 21 as container shipping nets reached $28.6 billion. If you want quantitative data, John's your man right here. He's talking about that net income. Look at that income coming in. Now, notice how I talked about this yesterday on Freightwaves, how shipping industry is on the cusp of profits all the time. It's margins. The margins are really small. Well, not since second quarter of 20 have we seen this level of margins go in. This is in billions of US dollars. In other words, this 10,000 is not $10,000, it's $10 billion. So you're talking about over $60 billion in this. Go to his other report, which does a monthly look at US ports. And he looks at the number of containers coming in. You can see those dips in there from early 2020, massive spikes since then. And then he breaks down reports here. He's got a chart in here there it is, that talks about July TEUs into ports, the July percentage change, the 3-month TEU, the 3-month change, and looking at last time over the previous year, looking at it, and you can just see the growth of this container. I mean, containers are just booming. Add to it this report that came in here. This is the port of a Bloomberg report on GCaptain. Talk about the port logjam. Port logjam is enough containers to cross half the United States. Half the United States. We got 65 vessels in port. If you're not following the Marine Exchange on Twitter, about every day they update exactly how many ships are there. You can go to the Port of LA and the Port of Long Beach. We're going to put the numbers together. Marine Exchange of Southern California puts it all together for you if you want to follow it. But here they're talking about the number of
All right,
vessels.
brothers. Now I'm going to read this a little bit. Yeah, he's going in, but I want to go to a point where he's talking about other ports and different other spots. But you see how many ships is out there? God dang, these stupid commercials. Let me just skip this. Hold on. All right, I'm back, Akim. Salakia for all the noise. There's a lot of distractions. But it's going to come out. This is Ezekiel 28:3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel, and there is no secret that they can hide from thee. You see how they already know what ships are coming in through the computer, through them being tracked, through them shipping and handling, through them having the barcodes on all the products that are coming in to their ports. They're wiser than Daniel. And Daniel knew a whole lot of things. He knew how to interpret dreams. He's seen the future. That's pretty much what they have, the capability to see what time a ship is coming in. It can leave 2 weeks ago, and they know exactly what date is going to come into port, at what time. The trajectory of the ship, the nautical miles that the ship has to make from its place where it's being loaded to the place where it's going to dock in the Long Beach Harbor or whatever harbor they're coming into. They're wiser than Daniel. And this is how they gain their superiority, is by trade, by traffic, okay? Which means the coming in of goods, all right? It says, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. They know what day is coming in, how much is on the ship, what products is on the ship, how much those products are, barrel for barrel, crate for crate, container for container, right? How much money they can make when they unload these things, how many trucks they need to ship it throughout the places in the country, what certain goods need to go where. They know all these things, so they're wiser than Daniel because the Lord has given them this technology, this power, all right, to know these things. And now they want to make you people that type of product. Just how they know when these products on these ships are coming in, where they need to go and where they need to be and how many days it's going to take and how many hours of mileage it's going to take the trucks to take these things to wherever they need to go. They want to do the same thing with you people ultimately. But let's play a little bit more of this clip.
Is here to help. So again, I'd love to use marine traffic, and you're looking at these vessels, but let's come in here to the terminal for a second. I'm going to show you the terminal here at LA and Long Beach. And to understand how containers operate, especially on the West Coast, you've got your ships at anchor, you bring them into the terminal here. So for example, here's your terminal right here. Here's your vessels lined up here. And again, this is Google Earth, so those vessels are not exactly there. So the MSC Kalina's here, GSL Nicolita's there, the SFL Maui, APL Raffles, CMCJ Florida. You see the gantry cranes right here operating. Again, this vessel is actually not here. These are here. These gantry cranes move. And then you have this laydown area here. You've got rail line back here. You've got the bridge across here that goes in there. Same thing across the way. You've got laydown area stacks. These containers are stacked multiple heights. But what makes LA Long Beach so enticing right here is the highway system and that rail system that comes out. You're jumping right onto the main highway system. You've got ships all in here, all throughout this area right here. Same thing over here in Long Beach. You can basically hop out and go. What the rumor is that they want LA Long Beach to go to 3 ships. Right now they're on 2 ships. So in other words, they want 24/7 operations going on. That does not solve the problem. What the Biden administration and what they're trying to do here is diminish the number of ships out in the anchorage by putting the containers on the dock. Understand something, that does no good. You can't chocker block the yard, the terminal with containers. You're going to slow things down more. If you have to multiple move containers, that's a problem. Plus, some of the containers on these ships are reefers, refrigerated containers, which need plugs, needs power. And you have a finite amount on land that you can do this. So you just can't start offloading containers, dumping them onto the terminal here if you can't get them out the gate. If you can't get them on trucks, on chassis, on railways, that's not what's going to solve this problem. Yeah, the short term, it makes the marine exchange data look better. Hey, we're not at 65 ships at anchor. We're the Biden administration. We're the presidential administration. We've got it down to 35. We are helping you. Means squat. If that material is sitting there on a terminal, it's as good as being afloat on a vessel. Let me be clear. It does not matter. And matter of fact, it makes it worse because now that ship that's sitting there is heading back to Asia to load up with more containers to bring back to you. And again, this situation is in LA Long Beach. And if you go out and look at different areas, like let's go off the port here, Savannah. Here's Savannah. You have an anchorage off Savannah right now where ships are lined up off the port of Savannah waiting to get in. Go off Houston. Even though you're going to see a lot of red here because the red represents tankers, you still see some green in there for container ships. And if you want to help, let me show you the place you help. This is San Francisco. This is San Francisco in the port of Oakland. You can see right here in San Francisco Bay, we've got ships in here. This is the terminal in the port of Oakland right here. This is the terminal in the port of Oakland. So we've got
he's going in. You see how much traffic is coming into Babylon, but all these things are stopped or slowed. That's the act of the Heavenly Father, YAHAWASHI, man. He's done it. He's done it. Right? He's stopped everything. Like, why can't they come into port? Yeah, it's a manufactured famine. But, hey, man, the trade wars, you got to remember what's beyond that. You don't know. It's not just goods in these containers. There's military movements being done. The Iranians sailed into the Atlantic and all the way back to Iran. They called that a naval, what do they call it? They called it a naval, one of the top naval achievements in Iranian history, that they sailed all the way into the Atlantic. And this is a military vessel, if I'm not mistaken, and sailed all the way back to Iran without being detected. The same with the Chinese Navy. They sailed about 12 nautical miles off the western coast of the United States, or I believe Alaska, which Alaska is one of the states in the U.S. Let's read on. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. See, the Lord made you that rich nation, that prominent nation, and all these different ports bringing in your goods. But now the Lord is destroying that as we speak. Your dollar is failing, and then nothing is coming into port. And if it is coming in, like the man said, it's only going to be sitting there for weeks on end. And the same ship that just docked and unloaded is headed back to Asia or wherever the hell it's coming from with more stuff to bring into port. And then you still have all them 1,000 ships out there, you know, coming into port. So when it comes back, it's going to be like, damn, I'm in the line again. I'm at the back of the line now. Like, damn, nothing is moving. This is not moving sufficiently. And that right there is crippling this nation. Call all YAHAWASHI, man. If nothing is coming in, then nobody's buying anything. And there's nothing on the shelves, and there's no truckers to bring the things into port. You see? Call all YAHAWASHI. Okay? That's what's going on in this world. All right, so let's read on. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord YAHAWASHI power, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God, behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against thee. World War III, ultimately. Trade wars lead to real wars. And they're going to bring their troopers over here, go to the land of unwalled villages, those that dwell carelessly, and they're going to plunder your goods, man. And a lot of them ships is probably filled with military men, military-grade weapons. That's what's been being moved across the country. Not really food trucks or trucks with damn milk and chicken and all that. What's been being moved across these railways is military weaponry, military vehicles. So what's going on? We know what's going on. Sedition amongst men is coming because of the lack of bread, because of the scarcity. That's the famine. Famine means a scarcity of or lack thereof. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. How they going to draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom? Your wisdom is knowing what ships are coming into port, that you can see them way out there at sea, that you have them tracked. You have a track on them. You know when they're about to dock in. But what's going to knock out that? How they going to draw their swords against thee, against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness? What is that? They've been talking about what? Cyber attacks. Once they knock out your ability to see what's coming in and what's going out, then that cripples you because you ain't going to know what the hell is coming in. It's going to be a blockade. They're going to keep you from getting out. And they're going to block anything from coming in. They're going to hijack it themselves and use it for their own selves. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Because when you go into the midst of the ocean, you drown. You're taken under. This place is being taken under, man. Financially, morally, everything. This place is going down faster than you can count. It says, wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am God? But thou shalt be a man and no God in the hand of him that slayeth thee. The Lord is slaying you financially first. He's slaying you morally. He's putting a perverse spirit in the midst of Egypt. All right, he's turning the Egyptians against the Egyptians, the unvenest against the venest. All right, now let's go to what happened in Exodus when the Lord struck the Nile and what the Egyptians did. Okay, let me get that. Bear with me, brothers. Bear with me. Nile. Blood. Let me just put blood in there. Lord did the same thing with the Egyptian economy. He crippled it, destroyed it. But that wasn't the only plague. That was only the first, you know. And then the Lord just started sending more and more plagues upon Egypt until it was no more. Here we go. And the reason is Exodus 4 and what is it? Oh yeah, yep. Exodus 4 and 9, and it shall come to pass, if they will not believe also these two signs, neither hearken unto thy voice, that thou shalt take of the water of the river, and pour it upon the dry land, and the water which thou takest out of the river shall become blood upon the dry land. No, I don't think that was it. Where is it? Bear with me, brothers. Okay, bear with me. I believe it's in 7. Here we go. Bear with me, brothers. Where is it? Okay. Yep, here it is. Here we go. Exodus 7:17. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, in this thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in mine hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish that is in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Egyptians shall loathe to drink of the water of the river. See, you're not drinking of the riches that's coming in by way of your traffic. You're not getting that money. Yeah, you're still ordering things, but people are not getting their goods. And these businesses are not getting the things shipped to them on time because there's not enough truckers. There's not enough people unloading on the docks. The ships are still in the harbor. They can only come in. So many ships can only dock at a certain time. So the Lord is crippling this place just like he did ancient Egypt. Because once they crippled the river, the fishes died in the river stank. The Egyptians couldn't drink of it. They couldn't do nothing. They couldn't trade on it. And all the vessels of water within Egypt was turned into blood as well. That wasn't in the river. See that? With whatever goods you do have, you better enjoy it, because the goods that you think that are coming in, you're not going to receive them. They may never come in. They may never reach you. So you got to count it as loss. You paid all this money and you're not going to get these goods, a lot of them. You go to these grocery stores, you're not going to find what you want on the shelves. This is Exodus 7:19. And the Lord YAHAWASHI spake unto Moses, saying unto Aaron, take thy rod and stretch out thine hand upon the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, upon their rivers, upon their ponds, and upon their pools of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. Sit. So it's hitting all places. It's hitting major businesses and small businesses. It's hitting the ports. It's hitting the people. It's hitting your pockets. It's hitting the gas. It's hitting everything. The Lord, once he just struck one thing, it crippled everything else. Just like when the Lord said, hey, strike the Nile. And once you strike it, all the ponds is going to be turned to blood. All the rivers, all the pools of water, all the vessels of water, whether it be wood or stone, they're all going to be turned to blood. It's going to be felt all throughout, not just here at the Nile and whoever works down at the Nile, but it's going to be felt throughout all the land of Egypt. They're going to feel it. You see it. And Moses and Aaron did so, as the Lord YAHAWASHI commanded. And he lifted up the rod and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh, and in the sight of his servants, and all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. And the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank, and the Egyptians could not drink. See, you Egyptians, you modern day Egyptians, you Americans, you cannot profit from these things. You cannot receive what you put in. These business cannot receive what they put in. They spend all this money, and now the ships are just out there at port, docked. And whatever does come in is going to be very little by little coming in. It's not going to be to the point as it once was, as just a steady flow of goods and merchandise coming in. It's going to be a flow, but a very slow flow. Okay? All right? It says, and the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank. Because all those things on the ships are spoiling. They need refrigeration. Other things can't last too long in those crates. They have to be unloaded in a certain time and place, or it's just going to be a loss. Same with the fishes in the river. You can't eat them if it's blood all over them and it stinks. All right, and all the fish in the rivers died, and the Egyptians couldn't drink of the water of the river because it was blood. So there's nothing you can do, whether you be a CEO in this time or a person working at the ports or the docks. There's nothing you can do. The ships can only come in there as they do, as they can. There's only so many truckers on standby. And then this dude, Biden, is going to reprimand these truckers for not doing this, that, and the other. But then the trucker is going to walk off the job or not do a goddamn thing at all. So it's just crippling your nation. The more and more things you do, the worse and worse it gets. Now, where we at? Okay, not bad. It says, and the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank, and the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river, and there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. That's it. It says, and the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened. Now, this man Biden is not too disturbed by what's going on in the ports. Why? Because ships are still docking. They still are coming in, but yet not to the capacity that they were coming in at one time and one point. Now it's much slower than it once was, and things are going to skyrocket because there's a great demand but no supply. But there is supply, but it's not enough coming in at a rate that they're used to. So there you go. So now the administration, they're appeased. Oh, see, it's not as bad as it once was, just like the dude said. So this man Biden and his administration, their hearts are being hardened. Like, whatever, man. Hey, it's still coming in. Cool. Oh, we still doing what we got to do. Not knowing that it's worse than you think. It is way worse than you have ever imagined. Just like the magicians now would be your economists, the people that's lying to your ass saying everything is going good, but when it's not. It says the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened, neither did he hearken unto them, as the Lord Yahawah had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, neither did he set his heart to this also. And that's what Biden is at. His mind ain't even fucking there. He doesn't know about all these things going on, all these things that are transpiring, that not too far out beyond these ships are the Chinese Navy. Okay, waiting. Okay, just out there. Okay. It says, and all the Egyptians digged round about the river for water to drink. See, people are trying to find out any type of way to get things still moving like it once was. Now they're coming to a point where the government may shut down. They don't have no money. All the fishes in the river died, representing the flow, representing the currency. Because the currency goes back to the word current, like the flowing of a river, the flowing of water. If everything is stagnant and stank, it stops everything. Production is stopped. It's through. That's where we at right now. Call all YAHAWASHI. The Lord said he's going to smite Egypt with plagues as before. But there's another place where it says, Lord, send new plagues. This is a new plague. It's just like the old, but in a modern age, right? It says, and all the Egyptians, which you modern day Egyptians are you Americans, digged round about the river for water to drink. You trying to see wherever way you can get what you need. You looking from place to place. Oh, sorry, we don't carry. I'm sorry, we don't have that anymore. Sorry about the inconvenience and this, that, and the third. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. It says, and all the Egyptians digged round about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled after that the Lord Yahawah had smitten the river. So it was actually 7 days, but the Lord is smiting this economy for a complete number of days. And as each hour goes by, the worse and worse it gets. And it's not just the port of Long Beach, but it's the port in the Gulf, and it's the port on the eastern coast. See? Call all YAHAWASHI. That's what's going on in our world today.
Ships all lined up right here, but Oakland has got access to rail. You can see rail right in here. You can see highway right there. It's all good. The problem that Oakland has, it has finite space. Look at this. You're right up against residential in the area. There's nowhere to go. If only there was a huge flat space that you could develop into a container yard in the port of Oakland. If only there was a huge flat space not being used anymore that you can use. That is the Naval Air Station of Alameda. NAS Alameda. NAS Alameda is no longer used as a naval air station. Probably the most famous thing about the Naval Air Station Alameda in recent times, it's where the Mythbusters blew everything up. If you ever saw container ships in the background, they were right here, right along the side. This would be ideal. It would have to be dredged. It would have to be developed. You would have to put a highway rail bridge probably linking in over here of some kind. But massive laydown area you can develop. You can push off into the bay, but again, California's going to be really tough doing that. But if you want to talk about how to alleviate this in the short term, there's very little you can do beyond let's get more truck drivers out there, let's get more chassis out there, let's improve the rail system, let's make it more affordable to be a truck driver in this country. Again, truck driver appreciation week, appreciate you guys, but basically telling them, hey, you're going to get fines if you miss your gate appointment is not really being nice. We need substantial infrastructure. Understand, one of the unique things about the port of LA and Long Beach is the ships that come in here offload nearly their entire cargo. Nearly everything comes off this boat. These ships don't tend to go up and down the coast to Tacoma, to Oakland, and then to LA and Long Beach too much. They come in there and they dump everything. And then they load up and go back. And most container ships offload maybe 20% of their cargoes when they come into ports. When they come into LA and Long Beach, it's 70-80% most times. That is a unique.
See what he said? Now the Lord has crippled that. He has tremendously depreciated what they can unload. All them ships are still out there. Not even a quarter of them have unloaded like they usually do, like they used to. All right, when everything was running smooth. That's the Lord striking the Nile in this modern time. Like, struck it. He threw. Yeah, there's goods out there, but can you get to it? Can you get to them? Call YAHAWASHI. He's hardening Pharaoh once again. You see? They're putting fines on the truckers and all that, the people that actually have to drive this shit around. But you got them idiots in the administration, just assholes, not even knowing what the freak is going on. But it's all beautiful. Call all YAHAWASHI. The faster this place crumbles, the better it gets. Now this is 2nd Ezra 6:22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Why? Because these ships are out there on port. And a lot of the stuff that needs to go inland will not reach inland in time. A lot of those things is spoiled. It's been too long. It's old. It's going to be delayed for weeks, for days. You know. It says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, because a trumpet is a warning, or is letting you know something is on the horizon. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth it, hey, they're talking about the government shutdown. They're talking about the money running out. Is that not a warning, a trumpet, trouble in the city? Right? Which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time, this was coming, because the scarcity of bread, the lack thereof, is going to lead to sedition amongst men. Warn with one another. You got it, I ain't got it. You ain't got it, I do got it. The one that does have it is going to be hunted down by the ones that don't have it. See? At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains, which is your water systems, shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. It's going into the cyber attacks. Once they knock out the gas and the power, also goes the water system with it. See? It's going to knock it out. Once they knock out the power, how is the marine traffic, how they gonna know where these ships are and when they're coming in? Is going to cripple everything. Call all YAHAWASHI. Says, whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. That's it. Call all YAHAWASHI. I want to get this right here in Isaiah 19. We're gonna end it there. Let's get it. Let's play a little bit.
Which puts a big push and stress on the LA Long Beach system. And that's the problem we're seeing. Now, of course, you're routing other ships through the Panama Canal. But even if you come down here to the Panama Canal, coming off the anchorages off the Panama Canal, you got ships waiting to go in. And the Panama Canal, again, is constrained by the limitations of the canal. When the canal did its upgrade, opened the lane in 2016, 3 years after the introduction of the Maersk Triple E, the big ultra-large container vessels, they can't handle them because that canal was designed back in 2005, 2006. And the biggest container ships envisioned at that time were 12,000 boxes, which is what the canal can handle. So we find ourselves with a massive infrastructure issue going on. And that's why the infrastructure bill is so important. It needs to be developed. We need to improve road and rail. We need to develop ports. We need to improve the ability to move containers. That's what needs to be done. Ordering the port of LA Long Beach to go 3 ships, same thing with Savannah, same thing with all these other ports, doesn't do squat. Makes politicians feel better. It will diminish the number of ships that are showing up in Marine Exchange daily update, but it is not what needs to be done. And
He's
again,
telling you, man. He's speaking to the choir, man. This place is through. It's Isaiah 19:5. The waters of the Nile will fail to rise and flood the fields. See? You see all them ships out there could replenish this place and bring it to its prowess, but yet the Lord is drying it up financially. He's drying it up that they can't unload enough ships to get everything into these places in the time frame that they believe that they will receive these things. Like what we always would say, the apostles, the elders, the brothers would always say that these trucks that you see driving around with your food, and they take it to these grocery stores. The grocery stores themselves only have 3 days supply of food until that truck comes again and resupplies them again for another 3 days. And then another truck comes for another additional 3 days. But if it never comes, if it never arrives, then within those 3 days, the shelves will become empty because the truckers are not coming in. They're not getting anything from the ports. So if the ships don't dock and give it to the trucks can't ship it anywhere. So there you go. There you go. It says the waters of the Nile will fail to rise and flood the fields. The riverbeds will be parched and dry. Going into these storehouses is going to be suddenly found empty. They're going to be parched and dried. Okay? Just like when you were by the riverbank, if the river's floods are not rising and there's a drought, then those banks start to dry out. Those weeds and the banks and whatever is along those rivers, whether you're growing corn or whatever type of grain, if it's not receiving the water, then it's going to eventually dry up and dry out. And you're only going to have so much so to grab before it is all destroyed. You're only going to grab so many. All right, these are ready, but these are not yet ready. We don't have enough water. They're going to die. These ones we can take right now, but it's only so little. See? It says, and they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of defense shall be emptied and dried up. The reeds and the flags shall wither. See that? So a lot of these ships are driven away. They're going to sail back to wherever they came from. Like, hey, they just ain't opening up. It's through. We've been out there for about goddamn three weeks. Everything on the goddamn ship is spoiled or whatever the hell. You know, just a waste of money because it takes money to ship these ships across the seas to the ports. Then they unload the ports and then they sail home not unload, but to load up again and then sail back. But it takes money and constant billions and billions of dollars is being lost. It says the canals of the Nile will dry up and the streams of Egypt will stink. See all these different lines and the railways and these roads, they're stinking, right? The reason that it stinks is because the things that you get from these rivers are dying. These small businesses are dying. These major businesses are dying. The economy is crumbling, is being stressed, is being constrained, is being squeezed with rotting weeds and rushes. There you go. It's drying up. Lord is drying this place out. He's destroying the American dollar. It says the paper reads by the brooks, by the mouth of the brooks, and everything sown by the brooks shall wither, be driven away, and be no more. They're gonna wither because these ships is on the coasts, but they're withering away out there. The longer they sit, the more and more those goods are being spoiled, and they're deteriorating. Unless it's like electronics or whatever the hell, but mainly what the people need is food, groceries. They need victuals. They don't need really electronics and all that. They need the food, all right? And if the food is just sitting out there from these other lands, the wine or whatever they're bringing in, the spices, they're going to eventually go bad. Certain things could last. Other things need to be refrigerated, like he said. And they can't, they have the plugs and all that in the docks to refrigerate these things while they sit there, while they unload them. But if they're just out at sea, it's just through. All right, it says, all the greenery along the riverbank and all the crops along the rivers will dry up and blow away. These ships is going to eventually sail home. Like, man, we just been sitting here for weeks on end, never entered into the ports. So they're being turned away. It said, how's the scripture go? Deferring maketh the heart sick. So I think deferring means you got to wait. Let me get that word right now. Deferring. Deferring maketh the heart sick. But let me get that. Make it the heart sick. All right. Come on. Come on. All right. Heart sick. Here we go. It says, hope deferred. There you go. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick. But when the desire cometh, it is a tree of life. So a lot of them ships and those ship masters are sitting out there like, damn, we've been here weeks on end. God damn. Like, we can't stay here forever. We have to sail home. You know, the goods on the goddamn ships is spoiled. They through. Damn, we lost billions of dollars. Our company's going to be pissed the fuck off. We got to sail back and tell them, hey, it's through. Through. Can't go there anymore. You know, it's dried up. It's out of here. All right, now let's get the word deferred or differ. Let's get that real quick. Defer. All right, play this out.
And I said this on Freightwaves yesterday, and I'll say it again. 8 months into this administration, we have no maritime administrator. We have no single person who should be the voice of the American maritime industry from the government who's advocating a policy. And with that, I will leave it at there. So if you enjoyed this video, and again, I don't know how anybody enjoys my videos. They really are not positive in many ways because I keep highlighting issues. Please subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, he went in, man. Like that guy. It says to delay, this defer. All right. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick. It says to delay, put off, postpone, carry apart, scatter, disperse. Those ships are eventually going to leave and go back to wherever lands they came from. And by, yeah, that place is through. It's through. It's done. This is before the missiles even hit. They're already losing money. So these merchants ain't going to make anything, man. To defer, to postpone, put off, to delay. See? Now let's go here. Let's go back to the blue letter. It says the fisher shall mourn, right? Let's get it. In the modern translation, it says the fishermen will lament for lack of work. There ain't nobody down at the ports. Not enough truck drivers. Not enough, you know, not enough hands on deck, so to speak. So they're lamenting the lack of work. Not that there's lack of work, but there's lack of opportunity. Many people are laid off. Others are stepping off of these jobs because of the mandates. It's so many things that increase. So many things that coincide with everything going on. If this wasn't enough, other things are entailing it. A pandemic, layoffs, the dollar failing, the government about to shut down, political turmoil, the leadership is through. See, it says the fishermen will lament for lack of work. Those who cast hooks into the Nile will groan. So everybody that's casting their all into Babylon are groaning now like, damn, we sent these ships from China or wherever the hell they came from, and they're just sitting in the ports for like fucking 2 to 3 weeks, goddamn, and only maybe like one of our ships that we sent, about 12 of them, only one of our ships has been docked, but the other 11 ain't been docked. Goddamn, that's a loss of money. It says, and those who use nets will lose heart. They're losing mind. Like, man, it's through, man. Shit is through. We out of here, man. We're selling home. It's Isaiah 19:9. Moreover, they that work and find flax, and they that weave networks shall be confounded. I just want to get a few more of these scriptures. We're going to close out. It says, there will be no flax for the harvesters, nor threads for the weavers. So all these supplies that these businesses need that are dying for, they're not going to get them because those ships are still in port. And those truckers, if they don't have anything in their containers, what the fuck are they driving? Empty containers? They need to be loaded in there so they can drive it to these places. But no, this is all of the grand design of YAHAWASHI. All right? It says they shall be broken in the purposes thereof, and all that makes slushies or slooshes and ponds for fish. Everybody's being destroyed, man. All the internet of things is being destroyed as we speak. They will be in despair. All the workers will be sick at heart. They're in despair. You know, the maritime trade, they're in despair. The people in the ports, they're in despair. You know, things are not moving. Not enough truckers. Truckers are being fined and reprimanded because they don't want to adhere to these mandates. Certain people walking off the jobs because they don't want to adhere to these mandates. It says, surely the princes of Zoan are fools. The people on Capitol Hill is some goddamn assholes. Idiots. The counsel of the wise counselors of Pharaoh is become brutish. How say ye unto Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise and sons of ancient kings. Let's get that real quick. I'm going to go down to the point and end it there. It says, what fools are the officials of Zoan? Their best counsels to the king of Egypt is stupid and wrong. Will they still boast to Pharaoh of their wisdom? Will they dare brag about all their wise ancestors? Yeah, maybe we got this thing going years ago and other presidencies, other administrations, but this administration is the worst yet to come. It's Isaiah 19:14. This is the point. It says, the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst of Egypt, in the midst thereof, Salakia. The Lord YAHAWASHI have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work. Once this dude got in, all this perverseness start coming. And look at what it has done. It has crippled the nation. It has divided it. It has crippled it. Has destroyed it. Has dried it out. And has made it seem weak in the eyes of the other nations. As a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. This is the point. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Call all YAHAWASHI for this lesson. Barakatah YAHAWASHI. All right. There is nothing Egypt can do. All are helpless. The head and the tail, the noble palm branch and the lowly reed. Call all YAHAWASHI. And this is what we're doing while we see this place go down. We're building the altars and we're calling for the Lord to send us our Savior, a great one. It says, and it shall be a sign. What the camps, those are altars for the Lord. We're presenting our own bodies as a living sacrifice unto him, telling him we want to go home. We're crying out just like our ancient ancestors in Egypt cried out by way of the taskmasters, and the Lord came down to deliver them out of slavery. The Lord's going to come down and turn back our captivity because we're crying out to him. And it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord YAHAWASHI of hosts in the land of Egypt, Babylon the Great, aka America. For they shall cry, who? The elect, unto the Lord YAHAWASHI because of the oppressors. And he shall send them a Savior, who? Yahushua Mashiach, and a great one, and he shall deliver them. So with that, Lord's willing, this has been an edifying lesson, giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, QADASH, by whom we do function, double honors unto my apostles and elders at Great Millstone that are ruling well and continue to do so. And to you brothers out there, fellow soldiers, yoke fellows, brothers of the sword, shalom to you. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect and to the house of David. To the few sisters that do listen, shalom, and to those that are addicted unto this ministry, I say shalom. Lord's willing, you have been edified. Until the next time, I say shalom.